guys, I'm Danny, aka Yogi Guy. Thank you for joining me today. I'll be guiding you through this practice. Before we get started, I'd just like to remind you to be mindful of your breath and your body. If there's any injuries or discomfort that you're feeling today, I'd like you to just stay aware of them and sit back in child's pose whenever you need to. Only go as far as you possibly can. We won't be doing anything too hectic. It will be a stretch and a strengthening class, and it won't be too long either. So just hang in there and do what only you can do. Only you know your body, and don't go any further than you should. Okay, so with that being said, let's get started. So when you're ready, coming onto your mat, let the hips come down towards the heels. Reach the arms out nice and long in front of you. Come into child's pose and just take a few breaths here. Let the forehead come down towards the knees. And just breathe deeply. Exhale slowly. Feel the belly pushing into the thighs as you inhale. It swells up. And then feel the hips come down just a little bit more as you exhale. And then with the next exhale, walk your hands over to the right side of the body. And then let a nice stretch happen on the left side. As you breathe in, come back to center and walk over to the left side as you exhale. Stretching out the right side of the body this time. And then with the next inhale, coming back to center. Reach the arms out. Spread the fingers. Let the palms be flat on the mat. And then come up onto all fours. Inhale and drop the belly, arching the back, looking up. And as you exhale, round the back, tuck the tailbone, push between the shoulder blades. Chin comes to chest. Do this a couple of times following your breath. Be mindful of any sensations that you might be coming across as you move. So sharp, stabbing pains, no good. And if you feel anything of the sort, just try and move a little bit slower, maybe not as deep, or just sit back for a little bit. And then after your third round, come to a neutral spine. Step the right foot to the back of the mat. Deep breath in, push between the shoulder blades, lift that leg up, floating it in the air, and then drop it down. And we're going to lift for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that leg back down onto all fours. Deep breath, look up. Exhale as you round the back. Back to neutral spine. Step the left foot back, push between the shoulder blades, lift that leg up, and then deep breath in. For 5, you're going to lift and drop. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that leg back down. Back onto all fours. Sit back into child's pose. Reach the hands out nice and long again. As you come back up, tuck the toes, lift the hips up towards the ceiling, and then keeping the knees bent, you can gently straighten one leg out at a time as you walk the dog, pushing away from the mat, shoulder blades rolling down the back. And then coming on to the balls of the feet, and as you exhale, lower both heels down and gently walking to the front of the mat, keeping knees straight for as long as possible. And when you get to the front of the mat, just allow the head to hang loose. No rush. Bending into the left knee, allow the right leg to straighten. And then swap sides and allow the right leg to bend and the left leg to straighten. And just do this a couple of times. And then the next time the left leg bends, bring your right hand over towards the ankle and then twist and let the left hand come up towards the ceiling. Straightening out the right leg, really getting into it. Exhale as you come down, swapping sides, let the left hand come over to the right ankle or calf. Inhale and let the right hand come up towards the ceiling. And you can look down or you can look up towards that hand, whichever is comfortable. Exhale, bring that hand down. And now bending into both knees, round the back, and gently roll up to standing, one vertebra at a time. When you get to the top, chin comes up last. Hands are at the side, fingers extending down towards the mat. Your quads are going to activate, so your kneecaps will lift. Feel the abs working. Slight tuck of the tailbone, shoulders rolling back and away from the ears. Inhale, looking up, lifting the hands up. And as you exhale, dropping down, coming down towards the mat. Inhale, coming up halfway, lengthening out the chest and the back. Exhale as you walk fingers down towards the mat. Step the right foot back. Drop that knee and have a look at the left knee. Make sure it isn't going past that left ankle. You can untuck the toes at the back and then just allow yourself to push into the front knee just a little bit more. Really feel the stretch on the front of that right hip flexor. And then as you exhale, you're going to push the hips back towards that right heel. And your front leg doesn't have to straighten. You can go as far as you can. If you feel anything other than a good stretch, just come back forward and take a break. You'll inhale as you come forward. As you exhale, pushing back. Do this a couple of times. And you'll see over time that as you do this more and more, your leg might straighten a little bit more each time. It's not important, but when you start to see progress, it makes it all worth the while. And then coming forward one more time. And now tuck the toes at the back and allow the right knee to come off the ground. Keep it nice and long. Take a nice deep breath in, bring hands up. Reaching up towards the ceiling. Tucking those abs, tailbone, reaching up. Pushing into the front leg and extending the back. And the hands down towards the heart. And then as you exhale, come across. Right elbow onto left knee. Open up the chest. And then exhale. Bring both hands down to the ground. Step the left foot back. All the way to meet the right. Downward facing dog. Coming forward into plank with your inhale, and then as you exhale, keeping the abs tucked, bringing the hips and the ribs together, bending the elbows close to the body, lowering down. Untuck the toes, inhale, lifting the chest, activating the legs, shoulders down away from the ears. All the way down. Rolling over into child's pose. Just take a moment. And then reaching nice and long in front of you. Coming up onto all fours, tucking the toes, lifting the hips. Loosening up the neck. And then walking forward to meet the hands. When you get here, bending deeply into the knees, rounding the back, chin to chest, rolling up one vertebra at a time, chin comes up last. Back into Tadasana, mountain pose. Feet are hip distance apart, hands are at the side, fingers extending down towards the mat. Inhale, looking up, reaching up. As you exhale, folding forward, down to the mat. Inhale, come up halfway, flat back. As you exhale, walk the fingers down to the mat. Step the left foot back. And then lower that knee to the ground. So you can scoot your foot forward if you see that your knee and your ankle are not in line. And then just take a moment to gather your thoughts, figure out where your body is. And then when you're ready, gently pushing hips back towards left heel this time, lengthening out the right leg, going as far as you can without hurting. Remember, hamstrings are sensitive. Inhale, looking forward. Exhale as you're pushing back. And as you come forward, I forgot to do this just when we started, but you can sink down just a little bit into that left hip. Feel the stretch on that hip flexor. And then when you're ready, tuck the toes on the left leg, bring that knee up, making that leg nice and long, and then find your balance, reaching up towards the ceiling. Check that this right knee isn't falling in. If it is, you need to bring the left hip forward so that your hips square, and then that helps to push the right knee open. Hips are square, abs are working, bending into the front knee. And then exhale as you're coming down, hands to the heart and twisting over the right knee this time. Really open up the chest, keep that back leg active. Don't forget about the front knee. Exhale, Bring the hands down to the ground. Step the right foot back. And then just take a moment here. Hands are firm on the mat. Fingers are nicely spread. And then take a deep breath in. As you exhale, rolling into plank. And then lowering down all the way to the mat. Bring the arms down at the side. We're going to come up into locust, so you'll activate those glutes and the legs. You're going to lift the chest, the arms and the legs all at the same time with your in-breath. So take a nice deep breath in and begin to lift. Really reach back. Keep lifting the legs and the arms. Exhale, come down. Bring the hands to the side. A little bit lower, like towards the belly or the lower ribs. Tucking the tailbone to activate those glutes. And then keeping the knees bent. You can either bring them up. You can have them just hovering above the ground. And it's going to be like an upward push-up, upward dog push-up. So begin to lift the chest and the hips. Elbows are close at the side, don't sink. So keep those abs working. As you lower down, elbows close to the side, all the way. Inhale, pushing up. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale, pushing up. And then tucking toes at the back and lifting the hips. Walking out the legs. And then walking to the front of the mat. Feet come to meet the hands. Lower the head down. Maybe roll onto the balls of the feet and heels. Side to side. Coming up halfway with the inhale, lengthening out the chest. And then as you exhale, walk fingers back down. Step the left foot back. And then begin to turn to face me. And you can have your legs out nice and wide. Really let them go as wide as you can. Hands are going to be flat on the mat in front of you. If you need a block or you don't have one close by, you can have your hands on your hips and just allow the back to lengthen out nice and long. So you're trying not to round, keeping it nice and long. Even if you're just on your fingertips on the mat, that's good. Toes are facing forward. And you're just lengthening out the back. And then walking the right hand over to the left calf or thigh or ankle, wherever it is that you can reach. And then you're going to bring the left hand up towards the ceiling. Keep those legs active so kneecaps are lifting. If you want to, you can take a bind, bringing that left hand down to the right thigh. And then allowing the chest to open just a little bit more. Try pulling with that right hand on the left leg. And as you exhale, you're going to release. And then we're going to walk the left hand over to the right side, grabbing a hold of either the thigh, the calf, or the ankle, wherever you're able to reach. And then as you inhale, let the right hand come up towards the ceiling this time. And you can stay here, or you can try taking it behind. Both sides are not the same. So maybe you could do it on this side, or maybe you could do it on the other side and not on this side. Really open up the chest. Keep those legs active, so no bending. Kneecaps are lifting because your quads are active. And you're gently pulling on the leg with that left hand, opening up the chest. Breathing into the stretch, breathing into the twist. And then gently releasing, hands come down to the mat. And you can play around here, just to loosen up a little bit. And then bending into the left leg, walk the hands over to the left side of the body. You can lift the toes up towards the ceiling on the right foot, or you can have that foot flat on the ground. For Skandasana, surface lunge, bringing the hands up towards the ceiling, and then maybe down towards the chest. And if you're feeling really fancy, bringing the arms out long in a mudra with your index finger and thumb touching on either hand. Breathing, bringing hands down and then walking over. So lifting hips, then bending into the right leg this time. And you can have toes come up towards the ceiling on the left foot or flat on the ground. All toes touching if it's flat on the ground. And the same thing here. You can stay here. If you're coming up, find your balance. Reaching up nice and tall. Hands come together. Abs are working. And then bringing hands back to the ground. Bring feet together. Coming into a little bit of a squat. And you can try moving the knees around, opening up the hips just a little bit. Bringing arms between the legs. Really tucking the tailbone. Maybe turn to face lengthwise on the mat. Arms coming between the legs, tucking the tailbone, lowering down as gracefully as possible. And then coming all the way down onto the mat. Bring the feet up, the legs in towards the chest, and then let them go just a little bit wider towards the armpits. Bring the feet up, flat parts of the feet facing upwards towards the ceiling, reaching up between them, grabbing a hold on the inside, and just experiencing happy baby for a moment. Keep pushing heels up towards the ceiling and then bringing tailbone down towards the mat. And just breathe. If you want to, you can rock side to side. It's also good for the back. Bringing feet together, down towards the mat. Right foot comes up, crossing over the knee onto the left knee. And gently, you can bring your hands out to the side if you like. It's all up to you. Lowering the knees down, to the left side of the body. So your knees are in an eagle pose position, got eagle legs. If you want to, you can use the right hand coming lower down towards the left foot. You can grab a hold of that. If you want to stretch out the quad on the left side just a little bit more. Stretch out as much as you need. If you've got a hold of that foot at the back, maybe use your thumb to press into it. Gentle massage. And then, when you've had enough, coming up back to center, unwrapping the knees, sending the left foot up towards the ceiling, and then gently crossing the knees. Deep breath in. As you exhale, you're going to fall over gently towards the right side. So that the left knee is under the right knee. The left foot is under the right knee, sorry. If you want to do the same here, you're welcome to grab a hold of the left foot, the right foot with the left hand. And then gently twisting over. Same here, if you want to massage the ball of the foot, the arch, whatever you feel you need. Otherwise, just holding on to it gently. If this doesn't work for you, you're more than welcome to just keep the arms out in a letter T. So from here, take a nice deep breath in, coming back to center, bringing feet onto the mat, knees into the chest, and then bring your forehead in towards the knees. Bring the hands behind the knees. You can maybe cross them, cross the feet if you like, and then start to roll up and down the spine, just a few times. And then with the next one, coming to a seated position. You can cross the feet in front of you, however you're comfortable. And then just taking a moment to come to stillness. Take a nice deep breath in and bring the hands up towards the ceiling. Bring the palms together, coming down through the heart center. Bringing the forehead down towards the fingertips. Knowing that you are as you should be, and you will surely get better at anything you put your mind to. Thank you for joining me today, yogis. Namaste.